This is the Delera's chain on normal to unlock hard. There's a lever that we have to pull at the end, it's underwater, but it's kind of near the end. So if you go here, and we go down, that opens up these doors, that door right there, and then we just go to those rooms one at a time and clear them, pull the lever, and then that brings down the bridge. Yeah, even though it's only normal, I really should be wearing this shield spell. You can see even on normal, it did pretty good. The magic missile did pretty good damage to me. Uh, this will one-shot you on Reaper. Um, so yeah, definitely good to keep that shield up and have the habit of keeping the shield up. These guys in here respawn, so you definitely don't want to take too much time in here, but I usually like to clear it before moving on. I forget where the trap box is here, but I'm thinking, oh, yeah, you found danger, all right. Let's see. I think the trap box is on this side. Just trying to locate it so we know it for Reaper. Yeah, it looks like it's over here. Aha, I wasn't over here. So it's good to do this on normal. Figure out, uh, even playing this game a while, I forget where all the trap boxes and things are because I don't build a trapper. I don't run a trapper every life. I do remember this one here. And I'm sort of torn between using my staff and greatsword here because there are a lot of skeletons. But it seems like even with the skeletons, let's see, damage is around, it's 22, 23, 22 to 27, and we'll compare with the staff. I don't think I'm just getting that enough extra damage with the staff to make it worth it. Let's see. So with the staff, I'm only really doing about the same as with the sword with the damage reduction. Of course, on oftentimes the damage reduction is worse on hard and elite. Um, Now this room here, I've heard differing. I'm gonna put my hireling on hold. I've heard differing opinions. There are these sort of like wraiths that are flying around, and they're always there. But these doors will close on you. But my understanding is they only close if you don't, if you step on the skeleton. So I think if we avoid these skeletons, in a party, realistically, I don't even worry about it usually because people just don't do it. And I think it's, I don't know if it's these skeleton heads or if, oh, see there, what did I step on? Ah, this skeleton here, I didn't even notice it. So, but if you avoid stepping on these skeletons, then you could avoid these ambushes. Although, it's been, I've found it to be a little bit difficult to do. It's particularly difficult in a party. All right, I'm gonna keep my hireling park there. So these wraiths, these wraiths we're gonna get no matter what. And now let's see if we could watch for, see these bones. My monitor resolution isn't so good, so they're barely noticeable. But if we do avoid them, of course, some of them are right in the doorway, then we should be able to avoid the ambush like we did right there. But what I don't know is if these skeleton heads here count. So I'm gonna try to avoid those too. But I think it's just these skeletons here, and probably these skull heads. Oh, let's see. I don't see any bones. Maybe I got too close to the skeletons. So yeah, like I said, I usually don't worry about it because I just find that it's, I'm still, even when I'm trying to be careful, I'm setting them off. But the last few runs through, I've been trying to look at that more because I've heard about that. Here's the end fight. I don't know how you avoid these at this level. I'm gonna try jumping over them. Nope. So something to watch for. I mean, the ambushes are really not that bad, especially on normal, but it's something I've been trying to do the last, once I found out about it. I ran this quest for years and didn't realize that's what triggers these rooms. And then I ran with somebody that said, "Be careful not to step on not to step on these." And of course, uh, we set it off. The group set it off every single time, anyways. This is a pretty tough fight. So what you want to do here is loot your chest. Low chance of drop rate on normal, but still, it can happen. And then when you grab this, we'll have an end fight and then a bunch of ghastly skeletons. I have a good weapon here. If you don't have a good weapon, they have pretty big damage reduction, although it's not nearly as big as it used to be. They nerfed it when they redid this chain. So we'll grab this, start the end fight. If you have the spell Dimension Door, or somebody in the party has it, you could just use that spell and the quest is over. So you loot your chest, put up Dimension Door, and then go back to the end. You don't even have to do this fight. But we don't have that, so we just need to survive it, and then we could recall out. We're not really going for this optional of slaying 40 skeletons. We don't really need XP for anything right now. We're gonna always be way over our XP. All right, those ghostly skeletons don't have damage reduction, don't require blunt damage, but they do require good damage. So I've got this sword or this quarterstaff here. Not the best quarterstaff. Magical Beast Bane does nothing, but these would be not getting damage or would be not going bypassing damage reduction. All right, so that is the first one. One of the more confusing aspects of this chain is who to talk to because you talk to different people between quests every time. The first one, you just, as normal, go back to the person that gave you the quest. Then we'll have to do a little more talking to. So we talk to him, then we come back. To this guy on our way to the quest. So then we need to talk to him. You can read I won't go over all the texts, as that'll just slow it down. He gives us this Club of the Holy Flame. It's a good weapon. It's basically to show us how the need for good damage, but it's a -1 weapon, kind of like we got from Korthos. It's not very good. I would say go to the auction house and look for a holy weapon. If you find holy undead, that's great. I would go with quarterstaff or greatsword. I mean, quarterstaff is probably best because there's other skeletons in there, but probably having both is, if you can find two and it's affordable, grab both. But some holy weapon. If you can't find a great sword or um, quarterstaff, check great axes and great clubs because that will certainly be better than than a one-handed weapon or not having good at all. Because there's a lot of arcane skeletons here. I'm going to keep my shield clicky going. Don't need the heroism potion anymore because I have my heroism trinket. This is an ambush here. You have this a few places in the quest. You have this series of levers you need to pull. And there used to be one of these levers that required either another party member or using a hireling, but they've kind of eliminated that, which is good. What would happen is sometimes if the hireling got attacked and died, you'd have basically no way of finishing unless you recalled and re-entered. Yeah, this door used to be closed for about 45 seconds, regardless of how quickly you completed that ambush. But they fixed that with a recent update of this pack, which was great because you used to sit there and wait for 45 seconds, and I'm sure probably newer players didn't know if they were missing something because it just wouldn't finish. So here we need to basically step on these runes on both sides. You can see that skeleton was doing some magic missiles. It probably prevented 40, 50 damage by having shield clicking on. And by pressing those runes or stepping on those runes, we opened up this lever. There's an optional in this water. I normally just skip it, but a lot of times when you're in a party, they'll want to get that. There's, I think, a chest in there, but I'm not much for optionals. There's an optional that pops up here. You can see it just comes up, but if you run up these stairs quick, you could avoid the fight, which is what I do, and of course call my hireling so it doesn't get into a fight. Um, there's some. I think there's something if you get all these optionals, there might be a chest, but I haven't really done that in a long time. Uh, it doesn't have anything important in it if there is a chest or whatever chests come with these. To the extent there are some optionals with named item chests, I'll be running all those throughout this free-to-play First Life series. All right, this is the one that used to be. I think it was just one lever, and it used to be that you had to have. There's like three gates in there, and it used to be that you'd have to have someone pull a lever, one at a time until you got someone else got there. It was a little hard to do with the hireling because you're fighting the whole way. So, so it was tough. It was frustrating when soloing. I mean, it wasn't hard. You would just pull the lever to kick off this fight. That pretty much hasn't changed. Um, but then what would happen is sometimes I'd have my hireling pulling this. I'd be stuck in the middle, and some Reaper would come out of nowhere and kill my hireling. So it was not very solo friendly. Now we just pull the lever, and that opens all of them up. And whoop, let's see. There we go. I think that opens all of them now. So much more solo friendly than it used to be. I mean, I would do it, but every so often I would either have to re-enter or restart because my hireling wouldn't do what they're supposed to do for whatever reason. And I'm running this solo just because I know a lot of people want to run solo, so I want to show people how to do it, and how it could be done. It could certainly be successful, but I'm certainly not encouraging it. I think the questing is a lot easier with a party, but realistically, it's really difficult to coordinate schedules, find people on the same schedule. Um, Usually, most of the static groups are people that don't work or don't have school, don't have any sort of big commitments um, outside of this, and so that's typically what you find with a lot of the static groups are groups of folks that don't have a lot of time commitments, don't have families, and so if you know how to solo, you could just put up a group looking for group, hit social, grouping. You can see there's several groups up at this level. Then just click create LFM, choose your quest, choose your difficulty, and then put the level range. And let me make sure I don't have the group up. Yep. Okay, good. So, uh, and then you could start soloing the quest and people will join you. So it's good to be able to solo even if you don't want to solo, so that when you start a group, you're not dependent on other people to complete it. And a lot of times when people join a group, they're expecting the leader to know what to do. They're joining a group because they don't know how to do the quest. So, but it's also a great way to meet people. I joined this game with people I know, but I've also met some online friends in this game as well. Hmm. Gonna switch to my ghost touch weapon. All right, we just have to finish this quest. Click on this. This chest can have a named item, but the drop rate on normal is maybe a quarter of elite, so it's not very good. Very, pretty low chance. But we might see one or two items like we did in Catacombs. Now we go back to the guy that gave us the club, and he gives us the next quest. Pretty straightforward. Then we just go back and run it. So there's three tombs. The first quest is in the middle. The second quest is left, and the third quest is right. All right, I'm just gonna move forward, and not worry about that chest. It's a little if you have like a little bit of a jump boost and a little bit of a haste boost, it helps. You don't have to really worry about these guys that much. They don't do much damage. You could just ignore them, but I'm just gonna go ahead and whip out my bow and get rid of them so they don't bother my cleric. When you approach this, you'll get the boss. So I usually just do that first. Not so much on hard or normal because it's pretty easy. But then once you do this, it'll activate a bunch more mobs. So that's why I always like to kill. And you can see I'm getting some pretty hefty damage reduction there. So I'll just switch to this. And then you can see my shield clicky going off. So the arcane skeleton is trying to get me with magic missiles. You can see the shield symbol going on there. So that saved me quite a bit of damage. They have some other nasty spells that do damage, Scorching Ray and others. But by far the worst is the magic missile if you don't have the shield spell or clicky. All right, we're just going to jump down here and again approach this, but not click it to get the boss, the guardian. Yep, let me get my ethereal weapon. Click it. And probably just, at this point, we don't need an ethereal weapon. I'm just going to go with a good quarterstaff. That pretty much works on everybody in here. 45 seconds on our shield, so we're good there. And rinse repeat, we have 3 more of these in other rooms to do. So I was taking some pretty heavy damage there even on normal because my shield clicky wore off. So we'll have to make sure as we run hard and elite or hard and Reaper that we're paying better attention to that because these guys could definitely kill you quick without that clicky. And we can ignore that archer up there, and I'm not going to bother shrining. We have plenty of hit spell points. You can see how much damage that shield is mitigating. All right, I think I missed a lever in the shrine. Let me get my expeditious retreat boots. Yeah, so there is this mandatory lever here in the shrine that we have to get to open the door over here. We're level 11. This is a level 7 quest on normal, so it's a little harder than the level 4s on normal and hard we were running last time, but really not, anything that's kind of has us outmatched by any stretch. And we're running this one sort of earlier than the others mainly because it's a chain. So the first one's level 5, the last one's level 8. So like the other chains we've been running, we want to kind of run them on normal and hard together. Let me get my ethereal. Normal and hard together, and then we'll run them on elite or Reaper rather um, at the appropriate level. All right, a bunch of archers have activated, or I'm not sure if it's a bunch. I see at least one. And I don't bother breaking all the sarcophagi in here the way I did in the other chain, because not as much breaks. In the other chain, once you go around twice, almost everything breaks anyways. So I've just decided it's better to do it on my own terms than to just wait for it to happen. So, um, all right. So that trap sets off these usually. All right, and for this part, I'm just going to switch to my ethereal sword. This one's a little different. You don't get the soul guardian until you click this, and there'll be a mob, but once you kill the soul guardian, basically everything's dead. So I'm going to put on this. I'm going to put my haste cookie on, or my haste potion on, and I'm going to focus just on the soul guard. Just focus on the red name, which is Delera. And once Delera's gone, everything else just disappears. Probably didn't need that haste clicky or haste potion for normal, but just to get in good habits for when we run hard and elite. All right, this next part is a little confusing, at least to me. And sometimes what will happen is people, when they're in a party, they'll be able to get into a quest because someone else, did all the talking to part right, but they won't be able to, they won't get credit for it and won't get the end reward. You definitely want to get the end reward here. It's really good. So first, you talk to this guy. Make sure you see no symbols there. Then we go back out and talk to the guy outside the in-house Jurasco, just outside the graveyard. We talk to him, and this is the final time we'll talk to him. He'll give us a reward. That's interesting. Convalescent. Okay, so healing amp, repair amp. That's really good for either a warforged or a artificer that takes both types of healing. I bet you that will sell on the auction house. Let's see if there's anything else useful to us. Nothing useful to us, so I'm going to take this, even though I've. All right. I'm just going to close this. I don't think that'll mess up the chain, but I just never retake it until after I finish the chain, just to be on the safe side. All right. So then when we go back, instead of talking to this guy, we now talk to this guy who has a chalice over his head. We talk to him. All right. It looks like you're done, but then you have to talk to him again. You could use bluff, but I probably have a good enough bluff. I'm just going to do the save your whimpering thing. That works for everybody. And you give him a little bit of gold. And then you see this. Now you can't go in this quest yet. Now we go back to the tomb that we just entered, and the quest giver is actually Delera inside that tomb. I think that the thing that throws most people off is talking to that guy twice. If you miss that, then you won't be able to go do this quest. You won't be able to get the final quest. So then we go in here, and we're on normal, but it's just a talking to mission. So we'll eventually want to get this on elite. And we talk to Delira, and you'll see quest advanced. So now uh, all we have to do is go talk to her, and the quest is advanced. Now if we go back, we can get in. So you won't be able to run the quest until you do that solo, but if you're in a group, just make sure you could actually get this quest and that it's not red, which means you're red boxing it and you won't be able to get the end reward because the end reward in here is really, really good. All right, now we just run this last one. It's a level 8, we're level 7, so it's above our level, but we're only running it on normal, so it should be fine. There are some traps in here that do quite a bit of damage, although not nearly as much on normal. including I believe there's one right here in the beginning. I'm going to keep my hireling sort of on hold. And at level 7, we're still doing okay with level 8 traps on normal. So that's good. We'll see how it is on hard, although by the time we get to Reaper, we'll be level 12, so we should be fine. This room, I think, deserves a little bit of explanation. Um, so when you enter this room, you have two sides, and there's runes and levers on both sides. You could do them all, which opens up both sides, but you only need to enter one side. And it doesn't matter, which side. I always just do the left side. I don't know if there's any real difference between them, but you just pull these runes on the left side. You can do them on the right side. There's no harm. It's just not needed. And so, it's just extra fighting and extra time. And by the time we run this thing on Elite, or Reaper, we'll have. You can see this is open. We only did the one side. No real benefit of doing the other side that I know of. All right, we've got a trap. Trap box might be passed. There's a trap in here that's pretty bad, so you don't want to go in there. Let me just go past it. Okay, I didn't remember that that was a poison trap, but what we could have probably done. Let's see, not getting it. Let me use my boost. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna go back after I get these traps and just see. Just whoop, there's a venom and another venom trap. Take my poison. Drive these guys back a little bit, and we can find the trap here. But I'm pretty sure there's a trap box back there as well. I don't think that one's not this. That one's. But remembering that that's poison will be good when we get to Reaper because we can swap on our poison immunity gear for these traps. But I want to try to find out if there's a trap here. It may just be you can't disable this one. I'm going to go back and just confirm. And I thought I remember there being a trap in here. Nope. So you can't disarm that one, but you could just go around it. So okay, so we'll remember that for Hard and Reaper. And by the time we get to Reaper, we're gonna have there's a free weapon you can get from Ravenloft that comes with Holy 3, Undead Bane 3, and Fiery 3, and it's 1.5 base damage, so it's really big upgrade from what we have, and that'll be really helpful when we get to these Reapers. And we're just opening up the two sides. We have to do some things on both sides to get the gate ahead to open. Kind of a common mechanic in crypt quests. Oop, I went the wrong way. I got turned around. All right, let me bring Flower with us. We'll go left here. All right, just get these guys cleaned up. Whoever activated. All right, I remember the trap being like roughly in this area. There's a shrine here. I just usually open it just in case, as a general habit, just in case I'm ever in a nasty fight, which won't happen on normal, but could happen on Reaper. Then if looks like things are going bad, you just kind of run back to where you're close enough and you could raise yourself at a shrine versus having to restart. Well, I keep forgetting to renew my shield clicky. That's going to be bad news when we get to Reaper if I don't get that by then. So we'll need to really make sure we got that shield clicky on for Reaper. There's some. This is like a pit that's gonna like fall like a. There's no trap box, but it's just gonna fall open, and if you kind of jump, you could avoid going down. You don't have to fight this stuff, and why break the weapons? Of course, our hirelings decided they want to. I'm gonna bring it up here, but it's the black pudding, I guess. Uh, but you don't have to fight it. It doesn't do all that much damage. All right, so there we go. Let's get this guy. So before you pull the lever, fight the mobs that are here. Minute 14 on my shield clicky. I'm gonna make sure I renew that when it comes off. If you kind of jump towards that ladder, again, you don't have to fight these guys. You just jump towards the ladder, and whoop, of course, if you miss the ladder like I did, you'll have to maybe take a little damage. But you don't have to fight them. You can just jump on and avoid them. They don't do that much damage, even on Reaper. But if on Reaper mode, you'll want to check to at least if there's any Reapers down there, and they'll come and transport up to you and take care of them before you activate the other mobs. All right, when you get slow like that, you know it's time to renew buffs. And expeditious retreat and shield. And another fight, and I think we use this. We have some incorporeal things in here, but, focus on the boss, and then everything will die once the boss is down. Pretty sure this is the name chat. The item that has a named item in it, and then these other two are locked, but they can be easily picked. And I have not updated my pick open lock in quite a while, and it's still working. It may not on higher difficulties, but I do have some open lock goggles if that's the case. We already have a resistance item, but well, do we actually? I thought we upgraded to one. Yeah, we already have a resistance +3, so we don't really need this. We'll just sell that. And now the best part, we go back to the right crypt again, the person that gave us the quest. And we're going to run this chain again, but let's go in on hard this time because we'll get favor for the. I'm not sure if we get favor for this or not this time. I think it might be the first time only, but might as well go back in on hard. And it's just a talking to mission. And the best part, they give us this two choices. Voice of the Master, which gives us good luck +1. That's +1 to our saves and skills. Heroic Inspiration, which is 5% XP. That's really, really nice. They have an epic version of it, which is good luck +3, striding, and 3 slots. We don't really have any slots. Certainly that would be good, but we can't use it till level 20. So I think we're going to grab this one for now, and then when we get to, I don't know if we can get this end reward again this life on heroic, but we could definitely, I think we can get it again on epic. So next time around, we'll get the epic. For now, we'll just take this heroic, and we'll just take a look after I exit this quest. We'll just take a quick look and see, what we lose by using it. So currently our charisma is an 18, so we're getting a +3 or +4 multiplier. So we're getting +2 to damage because of our trinket here. It gives us charisma +2. If I take this off, it goes down to a 16, and this is a +3. So we can actually get around that by chugging the bottles of Eagle Splendor, which would give us +4 actually. So it rounds down. So right now +3 translates to a +1 damage, +4 translates to a +2 damage. So we definitely would like to get 2 charisma, but we can get that from a Eagle Splendor potion, and we're starting to, we still have a little bit of plat problem, but it's starting to be less severe. Then heroism. Um, we could get that by drinking potions of heroism. Uh, I still have them in my inventory. I just took it off a hotbar, so I didn't use them by mistake. Since we have the heroism, here they are. Since we have the heroism trinket, so mythic boost +3. That's +3 to melee damage, so +3%. Um, which is probably not even like about 1 right now for us. So it'll be better, more important at epic levels, or at higher levels. But I'm going to say we really want to get that 5% XP, so we'll use this trinket during regular runs. We'll use this during Reaper runs, so we get 5 more Reaper XP and earn it that much quicker. We could also swap this on for searching and such if we need to, because it would give us a thing. Now, there is one thing you could do, which we'll try to do, which is use this trinket and then before the end of the quest switch to this one. But it's hard to remember that, but we'll try it and just see how it goes. All right, that is Delera's Tomb on normal. We'll run it again on hard and then Reaper.